Hi, welcome back to my channel, Clickbait Culture. I miss y'all. I have some special guests here today. So crazy. I have some special guests. Y'all already know my lovely father, Daddy T. He's here. Introduce yourself, Daddy.
Hey everybody, I'm Daddy T. How are you?
Yes, off of TikTok.
Oh, okay, great.
This is my lovely aunt, Auntie Kayla. Introduce yourself, Auntie.
I'm Kayla. Hey, I'm the eldest auntie.
Yes.
No, she's not.
I'm the eldest auntie.
No, you're not.
Oh,
Renata is the eldest auntie.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Wow. And last but not least, my stepfather, Mr. Dwayne. Introduce yourself, Mr. Dwayne.
Hello, I'm Dwayne.
Okay, so tonight, we're going to have a wonderful conversation about betrayal. Okay? Friendships, friends, it doesn't matter. I mean, relationships, just betrayal. That's the conversation that we're going to have tonight. So, who wants to start off with this conversation? Me? Okay, well, with me, I had a situation with a friend, well, several friends who betrayed me. And I just want for my people here to give me the best advice and also give you guys advice about how to deal with betrayal. And we can go from there.
Okay.
So, who wants to start with that? Daddy, do you?
Well, I'll say this: betrayal can really cause a lot of bad emotions and mental distress to one. But one of the things that you need to deal with, how to deal with, I would, in my opinion, is not putting out unreasonable requests. Sometimes you expect yourself from other people and you won't get that. And when you learn how to celebrate those that celebrate you, then I think the betrayal will be less than. You got to be careful who you hang with, and you got to be watchful. There's a scripture that says, "Watch as well as pray," and I think we forget about that. That you got to observe your room and scan your room, and so in that you can kind of get away from your Judases. But your Judases, to me, are needed. You got to have a Judas because it pushes into a better place. And that's when your enemies become your footstool. So I need an enemy every now and then so that you can help me get higher.
Yes, that's wonderful. But Dad, what about when you think that you have chose the right person and then they come out the blue and just change because well, with my situation, as you know, this person I thought was just a wonderful friend for me. And me, I'm a loner, but I want just one particular friend that I can at least count on and call to speak about anything. I don't have to worry about them throwing it back up in my face. I don't do it to them. And this particular friend, I thought she was that. However, it just went to a different. She just stopped talking to me, and I was like baffled because I didn't understand what did I do wrong. However, I had to sit back and think I didn't do anything wrong, and so I see that saying where it say when people want to leave, just let them go. And it did hurt me though.
I'd say a lot of times, sometimes when people distance themselves from you, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has anything to do with you. It could have been that that person was going through something that they themselves didn't know how to deal with. And a lot of times when if they don't know how to deal with certain things, you may perceive it as they ghosted me or they just stopped talking to me,
Right.
when really it could be that they were going through something that they themselves didn't know how to manage. So you have to evaluate evaluate your expectations of people. That sometimes people go through things that they don't know how to communicate well with. Not everybody uses the tools that they're given. Not everybody gets, seeks out their own tools to be able to like navigate emotional situations. So it could have been that maybe they were going through something that they didn't know how to manage, and it was easier for them to distance themselves from you than to make it worse or anything like that.
Yes, ma'am. That makes sense. That makes sense. And Mr. Dwayne, you have nothing about that about friends betrayal. Right, I know.
But no, not at this moment.
No. Okay, so what about betrayal with relationships? Your spouses.
But what is that?
Anybody wants to?
What specifically is that can pertain into betrayal when it comes to a relationship? Because what do we consider a betrayal when it comes to a relationship?
Right, that's a good
Everybody
question.
has a
For me, I would think betrayal in a relationship. Yeah, what you just said about being hurt. Everybody's different. Me, I think, of course, the main key everybody knows: cheating. Um, that is a big betrayal, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big betrayal.
Could be.
Also could be also hurting people' feelings, far as when you say certain things to your spouse.
But when we say betrayal, could you we still say hurt people hurt people?
I think that's true.
Because sometimes we're looking at it as it being betrayal, but at the same time that person don't think it's betrayal or I'm doing something wrong to you. They just say I'm used to this hurt, so it just come natural that I'm hurting you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that it's hurting you because to me it's just a normal thing I'm doing.
Yes, I get that.
So are we do we really say that that's betrayal?
I don't think
Mhm.
anybody goes into it saying, I would like to
Right.
betray this person.
Yeah.
It comes out
Right.
that way, and then you're like, oh, I could see how they felt betrayed
Right.
in this
Mhm.
particular situation based on how I conducted myself or how I behaved or the things that I did or did not do. Um,
That makes more sense. No input, Daddy, with that, as far as the relationships.
Child, listen. Y'all know how Daddy T is. Um, Betray is a serious thing, but you can ask how to deal with it. Is you have to accept the facts, and you got to also know what you put in it too.
Mhm.
Sometimes we set ourselves up for those things, and unknowingly and knowingly. You know, when you see the red flags and some stuff going on, and especially relationship, sex is good, honey. Y'all slobbing and carrying on, and it's fun, and yay! And all of a sudden, honey, this person just, they lying and cheating, and then you feel like you got to check the phone. I'm guilty. Come on, and so because you have yet to deal with yourself, and so when you learn how to deal with yourself, betrayal doesn't become so hard.
Okay.
Dwayne always get on me. You want to go back to the scripture? That's true, cause that's what's in me for some things.
Right.
Jesus knew who Judas was. It wasn't like he wasn't aware of what he was, and so his love for himself and for everybody else over surpassed that. So then the Judas ended up taking his own life. So you got to know, and like I said, the Judas are necessary. So you sometimes you have to have betrayal in your life in order to win. You have a lot of people who are famous folks, got all this money, and they have people that have had a lot of betrayals in their life. I was just looking at something with Mary J. And all the stuff that Mary J went through. Oh my God!
Yes.
Y'all know who my favorite artist was, baby. Whitney Houston. One of my favorite. I love Whitney Houston. But at the end of the day, Whitney Houston went through some stuff with her own parent.
Yep.
And so for great success, you had to have some great trials
Yes, sir.
and some great betrayals. So I think when a relationship, cheating is hard. Cheating is hard. It is.
Who is it hard for?
I think it's hard for the person who's been cheated on.
Yes. And what you think, Mr. Dwayne, for the person who, for both?
Well, yeah, it's bad for both, but sometimes when people cheat, they don't think of it in the moment either.
Mm-hmm.
It just naturally happens. Then when you think about it, it was like after it's done, it's like, dang, I really did this wrong.
Right.
Some people, people that actually have a heart, it's like, oh Lord, I did this person wrong. That was not my intention, but it just happened. But the other person's not seeing that. Oh, you wanted that to happen. Oh, you did this and you did that. And 9 out of 10, that's not necessarily always true. Things do happen sometimes, whether you believe it or not.
Now that I do believe, but I also believe though is that those things are contemplated in a sense. Because how did you get to that place?
Well, I could back you on that, with that, Dad, because when I did have a conversation with the guy that I'm talking to now, when I said that I went over to this guy house, and I was trying to make him upset, Auntie, right? Something stupid. And long story short, I was like, but I didn't do anything, which I didn't. And he was like, but you still took the initiative. So your
Yeah.
brain was you was going to go do something. So therefore, I still kind of
Your
can't trust
intent.
you. Right.
Yeah, it's really the
You were
intent.
still saying, I'm going to go do that. Even though when you got there, it didn't happen.
If somebody said it just happened, right? This just happened. Why was y'all in that place? Why? Well, we were just sitting there talking, but why? Why was you talking? And you didn't, like Dwayne and I had these conversations a while back where he used to say, you don't see that person flirting with you, whatever. I'm like, child, you act so. Sometimes we want to be oblivious to some stuff. It's just stupid, you know. I don't. What you talking about? No, no, no. And then in a lot of men cases, we still want to feel like we got it.
Yes.
Especially you go to balling and shit on top of your head, and you acting funny, got a little pudge or something. Then you want to feel like you still got it. So if somebody flirt with you, oh, I still got it. Yeah, but that flirtatious behaviors can be very risky. You have to be careful with that, you know.
Other people can validate you in ways that your spouse may or may not validate
Right.
you, or areas that you wish to be validated in.
And that goes to help with betrayal. Because if you feel some kind of way, if your spouse is not making you feel some kind of way, it is your duty as the spouse. Hey, listen. You know, I remember one of my old pastors, some guy had flirted with her really bad. And he was talking about all kind of her shape. And she said, ooh, you know, and she felt some kind of way because she said he was very nice looking. She said, I'm going to my husband, tell my husband. We was like, girl, what? But she said, listen, this man flirted with me. He told me all about it. He said, what? It made him a little jealous. But then that's when she said, you know what? I missed when you used to say this to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we can't get caught up in relationships, you know, doing daily stuff and work and all this stuff, and we forget. I'm guilty of that.
That was good that she was able to recognize that, hey, I like how this sounds, but I'm not going to get caught up with you. Let me go tell my husband and tell him what I felt, because she probably had a little bit of guilt, like, for enjoying that moment where he was talking about her.
Right.
Yeah.
But telling her husband, hey, this is what happened. I enjoyed it. As a matter of fact, I would rather it come from you.
Right.
Because you're my spouse.
I want you to say something to me. You know, make me feel some kind of way. Make me, like when we first met, make me feel, and vice versa. I need to make you feel that way too. And we need to say this to each other, but not say it with, oh, if you don't do it, then I'm going to look for someone else.
Yeah.
It's
That's immature.
I want you to do it because I want you to do it, and I want to be with you.
It's a need that I have for our relationship, and I want to trust that you can.
You're right. The way says validation, but I think that you
Because it is.
Yeah, it is. It's validation.
yeah, but you're supposed to give somebody some validation.
Yeah, Mr.
You
Blunt
with
believes
me.
that everybody
Damn it.
wants
But
some
why
type of
am
confirmation.
why am I obligated to give you validation?
I think it's both ways.
You should already know this for yourself.
No, we know it,
I
but
shouldn't be reassuring you all
it's
the time that
affirmation.
this, that, and another.
My
Well,
therapist says
it
affirmation.
depends on the person's love language, because not everybody has to hear that. But if someone does have a love language that says words of affirmation are important to them, then that's on the person's spouse to meet them there and to give
Okay,
those
like
words
what
of
is your love?
affirmation.
What is your love language? Do you know?
That's a good question, Daddy, because honestly, I don't think I know.
Right, and finding out your
I
love
don't think
language,
I know, Auntie.
and finding out your love language will.
No, but what I no,
Because she's still learning herself, and I get that because when
We're
you still
all still learning.
when you still learning yourself, some people don't know. Like Kayla was the
Can
one.
you elaborate? Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead, can
Kayla
you
was the
elaborate?
one that brought the love language to us some years ago. I think we went to go see Dad, and we was having a deep conversation, and we were talking about our biological father and how his love language is he buy you after he done some destructive stuff.
Okay.
He can abuse, cuss you. I tell you, he wants you to go to hell, and then after a while he'll buy you. That was his love language, was buying.
Okay.
So she said, "Well, Tony, what is yours?" And I was close because she was in her early 20s, I was in my early 30s, and I was like, I don't really know, you know. But then I really figured out my love language is I like to be talked to a certain kind of way, and I want to talk to you a certain kind of
Words
way.
of affirmation.
Right. Words of affirmation is my thing. I like to buy things. I do. That is a part of it. But I will shut down if I feel like you don't appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Okay.
so like when Dwayne and I first started dating, like Dwayne was, now I can say, no, he ain't gonna like this. He'll like this. Before I guessed it. Like the day we was looking at something online, and I was like, ooh, I looked at that outfit, and I just passed it because I was like, well, let me go look for some other stuff. He said, I'm glad you passed it because I bought that outfit. But and so our tastes become the same in a certain way.
Right.
His love language is he likes to cuddle and he likes to touch. But all that talking nice all the time, that ain't him. He don't care for it.
Right.
But that's me.
Right.
So he like that, and I like to cuddle too. But then and then his other language is I like to spend money and buy.
So
That's
that's
it.
Yeah.
that's where it becomes difficult
Okay.
because your preference is physical touch and action and quality time, and it's hard for you to show words of affirmation because it's not your thing. You
Yeah,
don't
it's just
feel
not
like
my
you need to
thing.
have it.
Yeah.
You're like, why you got to talk to me and
Right.
tell me these things when I already
Right.
know these things? But your partner would need the.
All right. So part 2 would be when she returns back to Miami, and we're gonna FaceTime. We're gonna do like a team type of session, Zoom, if you will, where we'll continue to talk about betrayal and how to deal with it, and how to make sure that you know how to see it when it's coming, because you can see it, and then I believe once you see it, then it'll aid you on how to be more receptive of how to become better after the betrayal.
Right. And thank y'all again for watching Clickbait Culture, and we'll see you next time. Love you.
Goodbye.